Alright, welcome back to another video. And I know it's been a very long time, and that's probably an understatement of how long I've been gone. But we are back, and we will be more consistent than ever. But today we have who has the best fight career in DBZ. I'm guessing we're going by win rate, and it's probably not going to be Vegeta. It's not going to be Vegeta, I know that much. Nope. Not at all. Vegeta, what fight have you won? I cannot think of nothing from the top of my head. I guess you count Cell's second form. But Vegeta, I mean, you can't count against Goku the first time they fought, disqualification, because they really did have to jump him, though. Because, Vegeta was basically running the gauntlet out there. After Nappa died, they went to that wasteland. Vegeta was running the gauntlet, basically. Goku, Gohan, Krillin, Great Gohan, Yajirobe. He was running the gauntlet. He was running the Z-Body gauntlet. He really was. But let's go get on to the video and let's see who has the best fight career in DBZ.
We're going to be breaking down Goku and Vegeta's entire DBZ fight careers to finally answer the question, who had the better resume, and by how much? Now you might be thinking, oh, you can just look up their win-loss records. But nah, those lists are trash. Some fights are missing, and others make no sense. You're telling me Goku and Vegeta's 1v1 isn't on there, but all three of Frieza's transformations are going to be counted as separate losses for Vegeta? They even gave him a loss to Trunks for getting hit with the Ki Blast? Really? And for Goku, they counted his sacrifice as a second loss to Cell. Bro, these aren't even fights. Anyways, I'm not just going to be rebuilding the records.
We're not going by win rate.
Who they fought and how they performed.
Oh,
because a win
against
Frieza should not carry the same weight as wins against Pterodactyl, police officers, and Mustache Strongman.
Who the f is that guy?
Speaking of those tomato cans, I'm not counting Goku's OG Dragon Ball run. It wouldn't be fair since we never saw Vegeta's pre-DBZ.
No, he right.
Out there saucing up entire species. So
gotta say OG. I like OG. I like that. Even now, why Z before OG?
We're gonna be ranking each fight using three criteria: the opponent level, the performance, and the context adjuster. Opponent level is scored out of 10, and the scale resets after each saga. I'm not ranking across the whole show because that would make every fight outside of the Buu saga feel worthless. For example, you'd never rate Goku's win against Frieza lower than his win against Yakon. That's goofy as hell, even though Yakon's technically stronger. That's not how we see these fights, and that's not how the Z fighters saw them either. I do think there should be some inflation from saga to saga, so we'll bump it up by half a point each time. So the max score is 10 for the Saiyan saga, 10.5 for Namek, 11 for the Android saga, and 11.5 for the Buu saga. I get it. The integrity of the older fights while still respecting the power creep. Fair enough? Alright, performance is simple. How well they did, how good they looked. Max score is always going to be 10.
Ooh, Vegeta gonna lose a lot of points on Raccoon.
This was important because fights in DBZ.
They show Raccoon with it. Vegeta gonna lose a lot of points in that.
But it turns out it was a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1. I have to raise or drop that score to reflect it. Or let's say he was fighting someone who's a 10, but they were sandbagging or limited in the fight. I might lower the opponent level to a 7. After adjustments, I'll average the two main numbers for an overall fight score. Simple. Alright, I'm gonna throw on the Red Scouter, so let's get into it. Starting with Goku's fights from the Saiyan saga. First up is Goku versus Raditz, and I'm not talking about the fight where he fought alongside Piccolo. I'm talking when Raditz first pulled up to the planet. For level, I'm gonna give Raditz a 5.5. He's pretty middle of the road for the Saiyan saga. Even after the year-long
they were
still relatively in the same league as a lot of the Z fighters.
Raditz took his nephew.
5.5 is good, but I'm gonna
I want to point out that was nephew.
Give him an extra point, bumping him up to an overall of 6.5. And I'm doing this because this is before the Z fighters got a chance to train a year for the Saiyans. He blindsided them, they were unprepared, and the audience perception of Raditz was that he was this 10 out of 10 fighter because before he showed up, Goku and Piccolo were the best we've ever seen by far. I feel like this was a special case and his level should kind of reflect that. As for performance,
I ain't gonna lie. Raditz, he was at the time powerful, but now if you go back and look at it, he was just raw strength. Like, his martial arts skills wasn't all that, but he was just basically raw strength. That's it.
Worst performance maybe of Goku's entire career. Goku got one-shotted. Yeah, if he didn't have the weights on, maybe he doesn't get one-shotted like this, but it is what it is. This is Goku's worst performance. I'm giving him a 1. So that would make his overall score
that is a 1.75.
And I didn't say this in the intro, but for losses, I'm going to be reducing the score by a third, or 33%. So his overall score is actually going to be 2.51. I was going to reduce the score in half for a loss, but part of the lower score is already reflected in the point value the fighter gets in the performance field. So I feel like that was kind of overkill. A third seems
Yeah, that'd been a lot of overkill for Vegeta.
Reduce it only by 15% because I don't want to penalize you too much.
At least on the main.
All right, next fight is again versus Raditz. This time it was Goku with the help of Piccolo and Gohan. Raditz is established as a 5.
So will they go down minus 1 or 2?
As before, I'm gonna bump him up by 1 point with the context adjuster to give him 6.5. As for performance, Goku definitely did a lot better here. He showed a new wrinkle to his game by curving the Kamehameha his curve.
What?
What? Oh.
Had Raditz sweating a little bit. Still got cooked in the hands.
That's
of
crazy.
And he let go of Raditz's tail, which dings him a point, but he was pivotal in beating him. So I'm gonna give him a 5.5 for performance. But we're going to use the context adjuster and drop that performance score by 2 points, bringing it down to 3.5.
He did have help with 2 people.
Because, I mean, he got a lot of help in this fight. If
He
it
did.
wasn't for Piccolo and Gohan,
Gohan caged your chest in.
He's finished.
Gohan caged your chest in, basically.
An 8 for this fight. But remember, this wasn't a win for Goku. This was actually a draw. You could say it's a win for Piccolo, but Goku had to die in order for Raditz to die. So for him, it's a draw. We're going to take 15% away of the average score if it's a draw. So Goku's left with a total score of 4.25 for his second fight of the season.
That's not bad. That's not
Okay,
that's
so
not
his
too
next fight
bad.
is after the King Kai training, when he pulls up in the battlefield,
Oh, no, Nappa.
he fights Nappa.
Nappa was dominant in that battlefield. He was
super elite for the saga. Like,
he would though.
Just coming off beating basically all of the Z fighters in brutal fashion.
Man, I ain't gonna.
Only had a couple
I
of
feel like
hiccups along.
they should make Tien beat him though. Cause Tien was him though. Tien wasn't the strongest. I feel like they should have made Tien beat him. But hey, Tien lost the arm. Now, Yamcha was done dirty the most. To this day, that's still a meme. Yamcha in that crater in the ground, that is still a meme. Even though he was like, how I explain it? He was actually beating the Cyberman. It's just that he let his guard down, got grabbed, and got blown up. But he was beating with hands. He was beating the Cyberman though. And he got caught guard. And when he that, they just know they doing my boy Yamcha dirty, man.
The way, I'm gonna give him an 8 for level.
I like
because
Yamcha.
He was him in the saga. And as for Goku's performance, he went from one of his worst performances of all time at the start of the arc
to
one of his
best.
very best with Nappa. And against much higher level competition. Dude, it was a humiliation ritual. I'm gonna give him a 9.5.
He stood
for
on
his
top of his
performance. I
head.
think it was almost perfect, but Nappa did start giving him some good resistance. Still though,
He stood on
amazing.
top of Nappa's
One the
head,
best
bro.
Performances. Not
That
just
was
from Goku,
crazy.
The entire show in general. The pull up against Nappa was phenomenal.
That was, he
Alright,
stood
now moving to
stood
the
on his
flagship
head.
fight
That's
of the saga.
disrespectful.
This was the main fight of the saga. It was against Vegeta, and bro, no question, no ifs, ands, or buts. Vegeta gets a 10 for level. I've had so many people in the comments. I don't get how they're hating on him so much, bro. You can't deny he was the one in the Saiyan saga.
He was.
10 out of 10.
Goku did not
his
win that by
performance
himself.
here, definitely not as good as a Nappa one. It was mixed, okay? He had some very high highs, and he had some very low lows. The Kaioken ×3 beatdown was legendary work, and winning the beam struggle too. But he was only
when
able
he
to
turned
do
that
by
grade 8,
completely overclocking and
oh,
wrecking his body.
Goku,
He
he didn't
got
know what to
absolutely
do.
Annihilated by grade 8 Vegeta. Didn't give up though, and really just did, I mean, almost as good as you possibly can do, despite, you know, the overwhelming obstacle he had in front of him. I'm gonna give him a 7.5 for performance. This was a very solid performance from Goku, despite.
Now, Yajirobe said they could. Wasn't nobody there being great at Vegeta.
8.75.
Yajirobe said that they.
Fight, it's gonna drop him down to a 5.25. And then we go to Goku's final fight in the saga. It was again against Vegeta, but this time it was with the help of Gohan, Krillin, and Yajirobe. As we established, Vegeta is a 10 out of 10 for level, but I am going to use the context adjuster and drop his level by 1 point because he was fighting a battle-worn Vegeta, which would bring him down to a 9, which I think is solid because this version of Vegeta still would have clapped Nappa, so 9 out of 10 seems solid.
He would have.
Performance, it's funny for performance. Goku was crippled and he didn't throw a punch, but he still played such a big role in beating Vegeta. He was the coach, he was the hype man, and yeah, he wasn't the one to throw the spear bomb at Vegeta, which was a huge contributor to his loss, but it was still his energy that he generated earlier. So I'm gonna give him a 4 for his performance, and I feel like that's fair given the fact that he didn't throw a single punch. I don't think you can give him too much more than that. And I am going to drop the score by 2.5 points to adjust for the immense amount of help that he had in this fight. I mean, it wasn't the fact that Vegeta just had to fight 3 other people. It was the fact that one of them was his tail regenerated in the middle of the fight. There was leftover spirit bomb from the last fight. And he had to deal with somebody who he didn't even know Yajirobe was part of the fight. And bro pulled up on him twice. Dude, the second time Vegeta was heated, bro. Remember Yajirobe was like leaning back, kind of pointing at him, and he just looked just obese. Just
it was a joke.
The finger in his face, laughing. Whatever. That's neither here nor there.
That we should tell Vegeta. It was a joke.
So he has 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw in the Saiyan Saga. All right, let's take a look at Vegeta's record in the Saiyan Saga. First opponent for him, again,
Goku.
is going to be Goku. And listen, just like I gave Vegeta a 10 out of 10, I'm going to give Goku a 10 for his level. Even though Vegeta was better, I definitely still put Goku in that same league. Yeah, his base power wasn't up to par, but he had such a deep bag of weapons with the Kaioken, the Spirit Bomb, that he could use to more than level the playing field. He's in the same league, he gets a 10. As far as performance, same thing as the Goku fight. Vegeta had very high highs and very low lows. He was toying with him before the Kaioken, then got dog walked, lost the beam struggle, but then crushed him with the Ozaru, which he might not have even needed, to be fair, because Goku was deep fried after pushing his body to Kaioken times 4.
No,
I'm going to give him the same score as Goku. I'm going to give him a 7.5, which this is going to bring his overall score to an 8.75, and he won the fight. So
no, that's good. That's good. Who? Now that really got me thinking. If Vegeta wasn't grade 8 then, right? Who would won? Goku or Vegeta? Because Goku won that from Kaioken. Vegeta, he just lost the beam class, so he's definitely not in tip-top shape. I bet they fought like that. Vegeta probably would lost because Vegeta did seem like he in worse shape. Because Goku didn't get to the position he wasn't able to move into the grade when Vegeta had him and crushed all his bones. So I think probably Vegeta would have won that. Not Vegeta. I mean, Goku probably would have won that if they fought after the Beam Clash and no grade 8. I feel like Goku might have won that.
Very strong start here for Vegeta.
Because Goku was in better condition.
Again, it was against Goku, but this time it was also against Gohan, Krillin, and Yajirobe. So it was 1 versus 4. For level, the best fighter in their team is a 6, but I'm going to use the context adjuster and increase the level by 3 points, bring it up to 9, because Vegeta is dealing with, like I said before, Vegeta was dealing with so many different opponents, unknown elements, sneak attack, everything I said from Goku's perspective just a minute ago. As far as his performance, I'm going to give him a 6 because as impressive as his durability and tenacity was, he just made a lot of mistakes from underestimating his opponents and just letting his anger get the better of him. I feel like if he just really put the
he's the
pride to
prince of all
side and
Saiyans.
accepted that, like, yeah, he's facing adversity from these, people that are beneath him. If he just kind of accepted that, he would have done a lot better and he might have even won the fight. So overall, his score is a 7.5, but of course he lost the fight, so the total score is going to be 5.03. And his record for the Saiyan Saga is 1 win and 1 loss. Alright, now we're going into the Namek Saga, and we're going to swing back around to Goku. Actually, you know what? Let's stay with Vegeta here, because he had like 4 or 5 fights before Goku even pulled up to the planet. Alright, so Vegeta's first opponent on Namek was Krillin, and I give him a 4.5 for level. It's crazy how he's as strong as Vegeta was in base last arc, but now he's middle of the road at best for this arc. Honestly, if we're just talking strictly power and ranking in the Frieza Force, I feel like he is. I like that moment for Vegeta. The only people above him are the Ginyu Force and Zarbon and the Doria. Everybody else in Frieza's army he clears, but he's such a coward, bro. He's a track star. I'm gonna give him a 4.5. Vegeta's performance was basically perfect, but I'm Vegeta with this moment. I'm gonna give him a 9.5 just because he almost fell for the oldest trick in the book. He's like, look, Frieza's here, and dude actually turned around. I'm gonna give him a 9.5 just for that. Bringing Vegeta's overall score for this fight, a 7. Next up is Dodoria. Same logic as Kui. I was going to give Dodoria a 5.5, but I ended up giving him a 5 for level, just because it's the same thing. He's just another coward track star. For performance, this was insane, because technically he should be able to give at least a decent fight to Vegeta.
Vegeta own that.
Close to even, but he's such a coward. He wouldn't even consider fighting a guy slightly stronger than him. He had to know Vegeta was levels above him in skill. This is a perfect performance from Vegeta. It was a 10 out of 10. But maybe this is going to be the most controversial use of the context adjusters. I'm gonna drop his performance score by half a point just because, and I know this isn't fair to Vegeta, but Dodoria barely trying and just running away right off rip, it does make
Vegeta had him
a
shook.
little less impressive that his opponent didn't even come close to going out on his shield. I don't know. I can already tell.
Vegeta can hold right there.
Bro, I can hear you.
It is.
Stop it.
It is. No, let
Guys,
me put a keyboard
try
up.
to make the perfect rankings. I guarantee you won't.
I know
It's a
I
lot of
won't.
tough calls. But still, Vegeta's going to get an overall score of 7.25 for a second win in Saga. Next up, we got Vegeta.
It should be
versus
7.5, but
Zarbon.
okay.
Zarbon, I actually think he's super underrated. Dude was a dog, and he was a solid fighter too. Check out that breakdown video.
I don't see what Bulma's seeing him. I really don't.
I'm gonna give him a 6 for score. As for performance, man, Vegeta was having his way with him before he transformed, and even got a couple of good shots in against Monster Zarbon, but he couldn't handle the power and the overwhelming pressure. Still a pretty impressive display of his grit, so I'm gonna give him a 4.5 for this performance.
But when
As
Vegeta
he
spin
brings his
back,
average
though.
score to 5.25. Of course, he lost this fight, so his total score sits at 3.52 for the Zarbon fight. Next up is the Zarbon rematch. Again, Zarbon's a 6, and this time though, Vegeta showed that when you put them on the same playing field, he's the much more talented fighter. He destroyed Zarbon in this fight. Definitely not a perfect performance, and some of the dominance was the result of the pocket sand that he threw at him, but it makes sense. He had to get rid of Zarbon quick so that Krillin and Bulma wouldn't escape, and he was willing to fight dirty to do so. He was winning this fight 10 out of 10 times regardless. I'm going to give him an 8 for performance for this one. Very solid. And that brings his overall score to a 7. Next up is Vegeta's fight against Recoome.
Ooh.
Listen.
That was bad. That was bad, Vegeta.
A 6.5 for level.
Because Goku one-shot him, but he was.
See if you want to give him a 7.
Was Recoome even really that injured?
For his performance,
his clothes are messed up.
Dog in this fight. He showed his toughness, creativity, tenacity. But Recoome was just simply too much for him. I give him a 5.5. That brings his average to a 6, and he lost this one, so it's going to bring him down to a 4.02. Next fight was against Jace, who, same as Recoome. I want to say Recoome, Jace, and Birder were all 6.5s.
I really don't remember this fight. I really don't.
But they're all in the same tier. But this was one of the weirder performances in the show. Jace looked like he could somewhat compete with Vegeta, who's supposed to be stronger than the Goku who humiliated Birder and Jace combined. He actually got caught with a pretty good shot in this fight too. But then he just destroys him in one of my favorite finishes of the show. Vegeta, no! With his Australian accent, bro. Nah, I'm giving Vegeta an 8 for performance. It was solid. So Vegeta's overall score for this fight is a 7.25. Alright, now we got the fight against Captain Ginyu. But this was not a solo fight. This was Vegeta, Goku, Gohan, and Krillin versus Captain Ginyu. Even though Gohan and Krillin didn't really contribute to, once Vegeta pulled up, they were out of the equation.
Vegeta gonna win that regardless.
I'm giving Ginyu an 8 for his level, but I'm using the context adjuster to drop his score by 2 points, adjusting him to a 6. Just because this wasn't like vintage Ginyu. This was Ginyu in Goku's body, where he was unable to max out his power. Vegeta's gonna get a 9 for performance because he just completely took over what was supposed to be a group fight and annihilated Ginyu. But I will be docking him 2 points for his performance though, because without Goku's help throwing the frog, he would have gotten his body stolen. Wait, didn't Goku, hold up, didn't Goku save him twice? Because he switched bodies with them once to get his body back, and the second time he threw the frog, right? Should I drop him more? Nah, let's just do the 2 points. It is what it is. That brings his performance to a 7, and his overall score for this fight, since he won it, is going to be a 6.5. Alright, next up is the Frieza fight, and I didn't split this up into like 37.5 different fights like the Dragon Ball Guru website did, but I'm gonna split the Frieza fight up into 2 battles. So this is the first one is the group battle where it was Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin versus Frieza in his first and second form. That I count as one group battle before Piccolo pulled up and it turned into a 1v1, right? And then he didn't really even fight Frieza in his third form, and then he did fight him in the final form, obviously 1v1. But this one is just like I said, first and second form. Frieza gets a 10.5 for level, max score for the saga, obviously. But I am going to drop him 1.5 points because obviously this is a much weaker version of Frieza than him at his best, right?
I'll say it shouldn't be that high.
This was kind of rough for Vegeta.
You know, he still got to transform.
Sorry if I sound different. I think I got some Goku yard ride aids or something like that. My voice is kind of, I don't know. This one was tough. He did have a very impressive showing against Frieza's first form, but he crumbled when he transformed. Barely even tried to fight, aside from a ki blast to the back that did nothing. This is actually, honestly, to me, this is actually the worst Vegeta's ever looked, man. He really went out sorry against Frieza here. You had guys much weaker than him, like Krillin and Dende, who made a lot more of an impact against second form Frieza than he did. He was just so gun shy. I think the lifelong fear of Frieza just is old.
But my favorite moment of that fight was Gohan. When Gohan crashed out, Gohan was my favorite character. I like Gohan, man. And when Gohan crashed out, I was all for it. It might sound messed up. I was happy Krillin got stabbed. Cause that let Gohan just crash out. And Gohan crashed out. He might didn't do too much damage, but I like to see it from Gohan. I love to see it. I love it.
He must have had PTSD or something. I'll give him a 4 overall for his performance. I feel like I'm losing my voice, bro. I feel like I have a frog in my throat. No Ginyu. But I'm going to be dropping him down a 1.5 because of all the help he got. Bringing him down to a 2.5 for performance. His average score is 5.75, and he lost the fight, so that brings him down to a 3.8.
Oh, that low.
That's tough. My bad, guys. I accidentally skipped this one on my original voice recording. Vegeta's fight against Final Form Frieza, I gave him a 10.5 for level, obviously, but I dropped him by half a point for sandbagging like crazy. Performance-wise, this was Vegeta's worst loss ever, I think. I'm going to give him a 2.5, though, only because
Frieza had
Vegeta Death Beam, and he made Frieza really have to lock in to bounce his final Ki Blast back.
Frieza had Vegeta crying.
I get it. Vegeta's record
and calling Goku
saga
the Super Saiyan.
And 4 losses. Alright, let's move over to Goku's record on Namek. Goku starts Namek off strong with the fight against Raccoon. Like we established, he's a 6.5, and listen,
give him a 10. 10. Perfect.
He easily gets a 10 for this. Just one
but
shot.
Let me get you go minus.
Once. This was actually a lot like the Nappa fight, except his performance was better, but the opponent was worse. Again, relatively worse. Obviously, Raccoon is better than Nappa, but I'm just saying relative to their saga, which is how I'm scoring the opponent level, which I already mentioned that. So, Goku's gonna get an overall score.
I'm surprised he didn't minus 1 point for Raccoon was fighting before that.
Of Birder and Jace. And for level, they're getting a 6.5, but since there's 2 of them, I'm gonna bump them up by half a point, so they get a 7. Another absolutely flawless performance for Goku here.
I ain't gonna, he embarrassed them. He embarrassed them.
Goku was different, especially when he first pulled up. They had so
many
opportunities.
He started breakdancing on
They
him.
just couldn't even touch him.
Look at that. Look, he breakdancing on him. He's breakdancing.
Gets a 10.
Look at that look.
Was different, especially when he first pulled up. They had so many opportunities to land on him, and they just couldn't even touch him. This is one of the most humiliating losses in the show. Goku's overall score for this fight is an 8.5. Next up is Goku's fight with Captain Ginyu.
I ain't gonna lie,
the second most powerful villain in the arc. He's an 8 out of 10. Solid power and very dangerous ability too. For performance,
Ginyu's basically no chance unless he was just switching body.
And it was all his fault. Super avoidable. He pretty much went 50-50 with Ginyu before using the Kaioken, but his performance drops a lot because of his poor judgment. His overconfidence and inability to pull the trigger really ruined him in this one. He could have had another Hall of Fame performance like he did his last 2 fights, but he just screwed it up. DBZ characters and fumbling the bag, name a more iconic duo. I'm going to give Goku a 6.5 for this one. Bringing his average
Goku takes a deal with that fight.
He lost his fight, so
he lost
brings
his
him
body.
down to a 4.86 overall. Okay, the next fight is again against Ginyu, this time with the help of Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin. But really just Vegeta. Ginyu's level is an 8, but he's getting dropped 2 points because it was a much weaker version of Ginyu in Goku's body, so his overall is a 6. For performance, I'm actually giving Goku an 8 for performance. He didn't really throw a punch, but this was so impressive for me because despite being in such dire conditions, he was
he got his body back. He put Ginyu in the front.
And saved Vegeta from the body change. The literal opposite of the bag fumbling from the last fight. But I'm dropping that 8 down by 2 points, down to a 6, because he obviously had help from Vegeta, who's the muscle. Without him, none of it would have been possible. So he gets a 6 for performance, and that's going to bring Goku's overall score for this win a 6. Okay, so Goku's next opponent is Frieza. And yes, I'm splitting this fight up into 2 separate fights. Base and Super Saiyan Goku versus Frieza.
So
if you saw the fight analysis videos I made.
You doing base? Goku lost the base thing.
Fights, and they kind of were, because what was supposed to be a 1v1 turned into a gauntlet battle with Piccolo, Gohan, and Krillin jumping Frieza.
It depends which point in the fight. But I probably, I'm trying. It been so long since I've seen the fight. I'm trying to think. Before Super Saiyan, I think Goku lost that. He hit him with a spirit bomb. He hit him with a spirit bomb, I was give Goku that loss because now because Frieza was still base standing at the Spirit Bomb. And Frieza standing, everybody tired, Goku could barely move until Frieza killed Krillin. Krillin is the catalyst to crash out in the Sun family. When Krillin got stabbed, Gohan crashed out. When Krillin died, Goku crashed out. Krillin is a catalyst for that family.
Countless times. So I had him losing by disqualification and then rematching Frieza as a Super Saiyan. So Goku in base versus Frieza. Frieza again, he's the pinnacle as far as level goes.
I'll give him a 10.
He gets a 10.5. But I am going to be dropping him down by half a point because Frieza only got up to 50% of his power in this fight, so he was sandbagging, bringing him down to a 10. Goku performed about as well as anybody could have conceivably done against Frieza at this time, barring a miracle. And even though he was getting absolutely destroyed, the fact that he was holding his own and had some really impressive moments too, despite the giant power gap, I'm going to give Goku a 6 for performance. That brings his average score to an 8, and of course he lost this one, so that drops it down to a 5.36. And his next opponent, again being Frieza, this time he gets the full mark, 10.5, no reductions. Because this is Frieza at 100%. For performance, look, in my opinion,
Goku was slapping Frieza, bro. That's a 10 performance. That's a 10 performance.
Among the Z fighters,
I don't care. That's a 10 performance.
Frieza put up a great fight and it showed his insane talent.
Great fight where?
Goku kept chipping away.
Great fight where? No. Goku dominated. Goku Super Saiyan dominated that fight.
Being in the universe physically and mentally broken in the championship rounds was beyond impressive.
That was Goku fight.
I'm giving that performance an 8.5.
Man, I'll give that a 10. Goku literally embarrassed him.
Give an extra point to Goku because
I'll take 9.5.
Just the sheer importance of the fight, and the fact that he was.
Cause Goku was, I ain't gonna. Goku was shitting on Frieza. He was. I'm talking about went for slapping Frieza. I'm gonna give you some energy. He gave Frieza energy. He beat Frieza up, gave Frieza energy, and I say that's a 10, because that fight was just completely one sided, and Vegeta was still trying to be nice. He killed Krillin, Goku mad, but Goku was still trying to be nice. Goku could have killed Frieza if he wanted to right there, quick, but he didn't. He was just disrespecting Frieza. Let Frieza know, what if? Like, that's basically what he was letting Frieza know. I'll take a 9.5. I'll take a 9.5.
The pressure he must have felt knowing that the planet was gonna blow up and that he was the last.
Then he tried to warn you about your own move. He tried to warn you about your own move. He wanted you to dodge it.
+1.
So he keep disrespecting you, but you didn't dodge it, so you got the easy way.
10 out of 10, and he won the fight, so he keeps that full score. Best win in the series, period.
It was.
His record in the saga is 4 wins and 2 losses. Alright, we're sticking with Goku and covering his Android saga.
Oh, that ain't gonna look good, Goku.
Is his fight against Android 19, and
we're gonna look good for Vegeta.
19 is 6.5. He was a little bit better than middle of the road, but definitely.
Oh, we're doing Goku over Vegeta.
I feel like that's fair. You know what I mean? Like Raccoon level. Because last arc I gave Raccoon a 6.5. So for the Android saga, 19 is probably the Raccoon equivalent. Obviously, this is the fight where Goku got the heart virus. But,
I get Goku. Goku should get like a.
Win it, even with the heart virus.
He should get like a 4. I'll give Goku 4.
There was a moment where Jiro was like, "Oh, if 19 doesn't find an opportunity to absorb some energy soon, he's gonna start to malfunction." Yeah, it just wasn't vintage Goku, man. I'm going to give him a 5 for his performance.
I'll take 5.
His decision-making wasn't the same. But, of course, I am going to use the context adjuster before you get your pitchforks up. I'm going to adjust his performance by a 1.5 because his performance was a lot more impressive in mine given the fact that he had the heart virus. So, he gets a 6.5.
The heart virus is why I would drop it low. That's why I would drop it low.
So, it brings him down to a 4.36. His next fight in the saga, we're jumping all the
way. He should be taking that. He should have been taking his medicine. He should have been taking that medicine. That's Goku's fault. He didn't take the medicine.
And I'm giving Goku.
He lowered his own performance
in this fight. Beautiful display of skills from both fighters.
Damn, Goku went that long without fighting. Yo, I didn't pay that no. Goku went that long without fighting. Crazy. Cause 19 and 20 was the very beginning of the saga. Basically, right after Trunks came to the planet, right after the training arc, boom, right after. Goku didn't come back to the end of the saga. Dropping performance lower. 19 took him out for almost a whole saga. His performance should have been 3. He was out for the saga. He was out for most of the saga.
Goku was at the absolute top of his game.
You gotta drop it.
More powerful, highly skilled, generational great like Cell. Even blew off his top half with the warp Kamehameha. I will say though,
that was hard.
PR team because he was starting to look bad as he was gassing. And had he not quit, the perception of his performance wouldn't have been as good. Because you would have seen him getting pumped.
That warp coming high. That was tough.
Giving him an average score of 9. And since he lost, an overall score of 6.03. Probably the highest score anybody's going to get for a loss. Next opponent is the Cell Jr. For level, I'm giving them a 9.5. I can see the argument
I'll give him 9.
Level of 10 just power-wise. The system type characters, and they don't have Cell's regen. I'm going to drop him a little bit on
Cause Gohan one-shot every last one though.
I know Goku
I'll
was
give him a
tired
9.
from his fight with Cell, but at this point, he had time to catch his breath, get back some of the energy he lost. So I was expecting a little bit better performance. I guess that just goes to show how hard he was redlining his body
I'll give
to
a
keep
6.
up with Cell in the
I'll
last
give a
match.
6.
But he did really bad. That was an abysmal performance.
I'll give 5. Don't show that ground.
I am going to give him an extra 1.5.
No, that's justified though.
Close to his best, but still, I want to see a little bit more. He gets a 3 overall.
Bro, they show. I said I'll give him a 6. They started showing the ground five. I had to drop that score.
Drops down to 4.19. Final fight for Goku in the saga is against Super Perfect Cell, who's getting a perfect
really
score
fight
of
Super
11
Perfect
for the
Cell?
arc. And this was Goku with the help of Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, Tien, Yamcha.
Oh,
and
they talking
crew.
about that whole.
It's
They
gotta
talking about
be
that whole
ridiculous.
end
Honestly,
fight.
even just adding this fight onto Goku's record is going to be super controversial because he
It
was
is.
literally dead. Listen, if you disagree,
But he
and you
did
feel
do the
like
come
this
in
should
high.
not be in his record,
He did
I
do the come in
totally
high.
understand. But I am going to include this
The
as a
father
team
son
battle
come in
for him.
high.
I don't know. It just seems like it's a special circumstance for me. Even though he physically
I
wasn't in the
understand.
battle, he was coaching Gohan all the way through and played a key role in helping him beat Cell here. Without Goku, they don't beat Cell.
Well, Vegeta do
If
beat
I'm
Cell.
not convincing you, again, I'm not mad at you.
Cause
but
Vegeta.
the score for this fight,
Nah,
just
if
'cause he played
Gohan
such a pivotal role,
didn't jump in the
I'm gonna
way,
give him a 5
Frieza,
for performance.
his Gohan wouldn't need
and
help.
I'm dropping it by 2.5 because he had an unbelievable amount.
But I
of
seen it post. Hold
I'll
on.
drop it.
I seen it post. Damn, you dropping that a lot. I mean, he was barely participating in the fight. But I seen it posted. When Gohan finds out he's stronger than you, Gohan get real disrespectful. He probably the most disrespectful person here once he find out he's stronger than you. He's a whole different person.
Down by 3.
As Boo.
Because he had an
As
unbelievable
Cell.
amount of help for this fight.
When he find out he's
And,
stronger than you,
not gonna lie, I might be glazing a little bit here.
He not
giving him this
winning.
win. 'Cause,
But
just the more I think
you're
about
gonna
it,
be
it's just
you gonna get
ridiculous.
embarrassed.
He wins against Super Perfect.
You
Cell,
gonna
but
know
then was
Gohan
dead.
could have
I'm
won.
telling you, bro. I'm telling you, some of these are tough calls. I feel like it's damned if you do.
But
damned
I
if you don't.
understand that. I
If you
understand
could
that
cook
one.
me
I
in the
understand that one.
comments, I'm not mad at it.
No, I might just cook you in the comments anyway, but
Goku gets an
I
overall
understand
score
that.
of 6.5 for this win. All right, Goku's record in
This
the Android Saga
win.
is looking a little bit rough.
It
One
is.
win and 4 losses, and that one win is very controversial too. A lot of people say like, "Oh, this was him taking a step back." Nah, bro, he tried. He just wasn't him in this arc. It just is what it is. Like he had amazing moments. It just wasn't him. It wasn't his time.
wasn't.
Like 1
Was
and 4. Let's go to
This
Vegeta's
his worst
record
from
in
the arc.
the
It was his
Android
worst
Saga.
arc.
First fight was against Android 19, and we already established him as a 6.5, but I'm actually going to use the context adjuster to give him another half a point and make him a 7 because he's just coming off a win against Goku, who's the reigning, defending, undisputed champ, and he took energy from him. So this version of 19 not only had the extra aura, but he was physically stronger than the one that Goku fought.
Vegeta embarrassed
Performance-wise,
19.
This was one of Vegeta's coldest
I
performances.
want to be a Super Saiyan.
It was basically perfect.
Now, if you
Absolutely
know-
dismantled
you
19,
know.
maybe the most humiliating and satisfying
He-
defeats of the entire
he
series.
embarrassed
The only thing I
19.
knock him for is letting his energy get absorbed by the android. It just wasn't a smart move, but it turned out not to
Vegeta-
matter at all.
Vegeta
for this
just-
fight, so
Vegeta-
I'm not gonna fault him too much for it. He gets an
Vegeta was not fighting smart. Vegeta just want to show you can't beat me. No matter what you do, you can't beat me. Kakarot lost to this. This? That's basically all he was. That's all he was basically showing. He was just having fun toying with him.
9.5 for performance.
He was just one. He
This
just
was
wasn't toying
actually
19.
a hell of a win. Vegeta's overall score for this fight was 8.25. His next opponent was Android 18, and I think 17 and 18, both of them.
I'll get an 8.
Both of them at an 8 for their level for this arc. Vegeta's performance in this one, I think it's a little bit underrated for how brutally he got finished in the end. He definitely had his moments and showed that he was still no slouch power-wise.
But 19, I'm not. 18 when I wasn't serious though.
One regardless.
I'll give him a 6 for that though.
But he could have performed better if he fought with a cooler head. I'm gonna give him a 4, bringing his average.
That's
score
fair.
to a
That's
6,
fair.
And since he
I'll
lost,
be
that
generous.
drops him down to a 4.02 for the fight with 18. Next opponent for Vegeta is Semi-Perfect Cell, and
one-sided fight.
Score of 9. I know he lost all.
That's fair.
Just TM Tri-Beam.
But his performance.
But this man was
his
still
performance.
an absolute threat.
I give performance 3. Even though he won, one side. The fight was one side. He purposely let Cell get to his final form. He fought Trunks. Trunks trying to stop it. He fought Trunks like, watch out, boy. But I give him a 3.
16 and 18, like they were nothing, was crazy. This was basically a flawless performance by Vegeta. I just say this 19 was the most humiliating. This is probably the most humiliating defeat a villain.
No,
ever
it
took on
was.
the show. Vegeta outclassed him in power, speed, skill, timing, everything, bro. And right in front of the fighter he just lost to in his last fight. I'm really scared of Vegeta's opponent. This was definitely his peak in the saga and one of the coldest moments in the show. 10 out of 10. This was
I would not give him
win
that
for Vegeta. He gets an overall score.
The reason I would give him that he purposely let Cell get to the final form. He's stopping Trunks from stopping that
for this win. Right after this fight is the fight with Perfect Cell.
I gave Vegeta a low score in that.
Level, and man, he got absolutely. This performance started off like the Frieza.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Just humiliating Vegeta.
I'll give him a 1 for performance.
For how bad he just got done in his last form.
I'll give him a straight 1.
4.5 for his performance.
That's too high.
Terrible as it was, just because of how cold the final flash was. Legendary.
Fair
stuff.
point. Fair point.
Chunk of Cell's torso. I don't care what.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I did not think he was gonna do that kind of damage.
I forgot he blew out part of your torso.
But 4.5.
I forgot about that.
Oh, you're glazing Vegeta. Like I haven't glazed Goku like
I
70 times.
I was about 4. I was up to 4.
I swear, dude. I don't understand the Vegeta haters. Obviously, I don't understand the Goku haters either. But there's something about Vegeta to where like you just start to get gremlins.
I like all Z fighters.
I don't want to see you.
Krillin iffy though.
Credit where credit's due. It's weird, bro. It's really weird. It's goofy as hell. His average points for this fight is a 7.5.
But OG Dragon Ball Krillin. He wasn't funniest character,
Jr., who again we established is a 9.5 for level. I maybe should have looked at this fight a little bit closer before doing this list, but I know that Vegeta held his own the best out of all the Z fighters. Except for in the anime only, Piccolo was putting in work. Still, I think Vegeta and Trunks were the only two still standing, and he was going 50-50 with the Junior. I'll give him a 6. That's where I think he's at. 7.75 average, which is going to go down because he lost this one. It's going to go down to a 5.19. And here we go. Next opponent is Super Perfect Cell. Super Perfect Cell is going to get the perfect score.
Okay. They're going to be hard to rank this fight, honestly. Because Vegeta, I don't think Gohan would have needed help if Gohan never jumped in front of the blast to save Vegeta. Which caused Gohan to lose his arm for the rest of the fight. But after that, during the final being clash, Vegeta put in the work. Vegeta sending key blasts left and right. So then I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this one.
And Vegeta's performance was just terrible, bro. He got deep fried, barbecued, sauteed, filleted, minced, baked, air fried, grilled. I don't know, everything by Cell. Credits due to him though. He made Cell in his prime brace for impact. That was a nasty key blast by Vegeta. You guys remember? Even Gohan was like, dang. Once again, the key attack is going to save Vegeta's performance score from completely tanking here. I'm going to give him a 3, bringing his score to a 7, and the overall score after the loss is a 4.69. His next opponent is again Super Perfect Cell, but he fought him alongside Gohan, Goku, I guess, Piccolo, Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin. Aside from Gohan, Vegeta played the biggest role in defeating Cell. Once again, he banged him with a nasty ki blast. Bro, look at the Bambi legs. Cell's gotta hate this dude at this point. He's gonna be having nightmares about Vegeta's ki blast at hell. That's 3 times now he's clipped him and embarrassed him in his perfect form. And I'm dropping the score down by
Vegeta like the ki blast.
Not possible. Vegeta gets an overall score of 7.25 for this win. Vegeta's record in the Android Saga is 3 wins and 4 losses. Alright guys, let's move back over to Goku. Goku's first opponent in the Buu Saga is Yakon. Which, by the way, I guess
how did fight win?
Really late in the video for me to mention this, but I'm not counting filler-only fights, which kind of sucks because I did want to rank the PyCon win for Goku, but it opens up too big a can of worms, and it's just going to dilute the stats too much.
Okay, so Yakon wasn't really all that straight. It just, the fight dragged out because it was dark. That's it.
Against Squirrel.
That's it. Just because of dark.
Beard, Caterpillar, and other tomato cans are just gonna hurt his record. So it's just best to keep the Otherworld Saga out of the records fully. But yeah, anyways, Yakon was decent, man. He wasn't a complete can like Babidi's other soldiers, aside from Dabura. I give him a 5. Goku had a good performance, had a very impressive finish at the end of the fight. I'm gonna give him an 8 for his performance, though. He could have made it a little bit cleaner, and Yakon was giving him a good resistance before he murked him with Super Saiyan 2. So I feel like 8.
I mean, on that fight, I just say because that fight, it was dark. Goku couldn't really see.
His next fight was against Majin
Goku fighting at disadvantage. I'll probably give Goku a 1.
Check out the breakdown on Effort if you haven't already. Vegeta was an absolute beast of a fighter and a powerhouse. Definitely at least a notch below the elite in this arc. I'm going to give bro an 8.5.
I was about to say 8, but 8.5 fair.
Arc, the max score goes up to 11.5.
Oh, they'll go to 11 though.
Great showing in this fight, but Vegeta was just a step ahead, man, especially early on. Goku rallied back in the championship rounds, but it wasn't enough. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 for this one because this was still very good and one of the highest scores you'll get for, still losing a fight. Of course, as we all know, Goku was sandbagging heavy by not using Super Saiyan 3 at the start.
Vegeta won that fight though.
And give him a +2 for his performance. I feel like that's a good compromise. Or his average score is an 8.75, and with the loss, it drops down to a
Vegeta won that though. Vegeta the one who went to Vegeta won that. No, Vegeta won that one. No, it might not be a fair win. It might have been a cheap shot, but Vegeta won that one. Vegeta won that. No.
Next opponent is
Goku's on the ground.
And Majin Buu.
They have Vegeta got that. Vegeta won that fight.
It was a solid 10.5. He's definitely elite.
I'll give him a 10 because you still got Kid Buu.
He's the weakest.
And Super Buu.
As for Goku's performance,
so I give Buu by 10.
Super impressive, but his stamina drain was bad, and he didn't fully put his foot on the gas like he does eventually in the Kid Buu fight. Goku won this fight, but there was a
probably 9.5
because if it had gone on,
but he was tough though.
Sure, who would have won? Even though,
but Super Buu was much stronger.
I'm gonna give him a 6 for performance. Not his best win, but still solid. Which brings his overall score for this fight.
Did he really win that?
8.25.
I mean, I guess.
Goku's next opponent.
He got him to stop fighting.
This is I'm splitting the Kid Buu fight.
Oh, I'm tripping. We on Goku, not Vegeta. We on Goku. Yeah, Goku lost that fight. I'm tripping.
He first had a 1v1, then he had to take a break, and then obviously it was the gauntlet match, right? But yeah, I'm going to give Kid Buu an 11. It's a rare case in DBZ where the final villain actually isn't the strongest villain, so I can't give him the max score, but sipping on that green tea, man. That green tea.
Goku, I mean, I just had some regular tea, but it wasn't green tea.
He had to forfeit to take that minute break to gather energy. And by the way, that minute wouldn't have even helped him because he actually burned out while trying to gather ki. If he didn't have Vegeta to, tag in for him and he had to keep fighting, he would have gotten destroyed in that minute. Kind of like against Perfect Cell, Goku's PR team kept them from getting embarrassed in this fight.
Nah, Hercule's PR team
for performance, and honestly, that might be me being generous. Which brings his average score to an 8.75, and of course, he lost this fight, so he gets a 5.86. Next and final fight for Goku on this list is again versus Kid Buu, but this time it's with the help of Vegeta.
Yeah, Hercule. Don't forget Hercule.
The human race, the Namekian race, bro. Everybody. I feel like I might have helped. Kid Buu, of course, gets an 11 for score. Goku, I'm giving him an 8 for his performance. Just
neither one of them fought Super did
wouldn't have been able to finish it off.
Not separate anyway.
And even then, he still needed the wish that restored his power. So I'm going to drop his performance down by 3 points for obvious reasons. So he gets a 5 for his weighted score for performance. Overall score of 8 for this win. Solid win still. Goku's record in the Buu Saga was 3 wins and 2 losses. Finally, we're going to take
that
a look
way
at
been the
Vegeta's
Cell
record in
Saga.
the Buu Saga. Starting with his first opponent, Pui Pui.
Pui
Look,
Pui.
bro, Pui Pui was a bin man, tomato can, waste man, bomb. He was trash.
Light
bro. I'm
work,
giving him
light
a
5.
2.5 for level.
No,
and that's me being
fair.
generous.
Cause he was basically another
It's like-
cute, another
I got my notes
Q.
here. It looks like I adjusted him to a 2. Yeah, I dropped him down to a 2. Okay. Dude, he's a bum. He deserves the 2. All right. Vegeta completely styled on him and finished him
He
with
did.
his
He
flawless
based-
performance. He
he-
gets the 10, and his score for this win is a 6.
He was just basing a
Vegeta's
cue
next
for
opponent
Vegeta to
is
embarrass.
Goku, and listen, Goku is him. I'm giving him a level of 10.5 for this arc. Same tier as Fat Buu. Definitely below.
Like,
Kid
I would-
Buu.
I would
can't
drop
believe how
Fat-
many
I would
people
chop
think that
Fat
Goku
Buu.
would beat Kid Buu. Hell no. He ain't beating
I'll
Kid
give
Buu.
him
Goku's a
9.5
10.5 for
with
level, but
same
we're
as.
gonna obviously use the
I,
context
no, I'll
adjuster
probably get
and drop him down by 2
Cause Goku didn't go Super Saiyan 3 though. I get Goku a 9 on that one, or 8.5. That's what I would do.
points down to an 8.5 because
Oh no,
obviously
you
I'm
got
gonna sandbag
fat.
him.
I just
Stayed
said
Super
8.5.
Saiyan
My
2 for
bad.
the whole fight,
I forgot about
and
the
8.5
fat
is his
thing.
level,
I forgot
of
about
his
it.
Super Saiyan 2, which is the same level that I gave for
Yeah,
Vegeta,
8
so
point-
it
yeah.
makes sense. For performance though, listen, to me it was a legendary performance for Vegeta because he was going up against, if not the very best, then at least the top 3 pound for pound fighter of the whole, all of the series. You feel me? He landed more shots than Goku, caught him off guard with a lot of traps, just out.
Man, I'll give Vegeta a good performance on that one.
Nobody's doing this well against Goku on an even play.
I'll give him a high
So I'm
performance on
gonna give
this.
Vegeta a 9 for his
I like this
performance,
fight.
even though it was a very hard fought battle. But I'm gonna adjust it by dropping
Understandable,
him down
'cause he ain't go
because
Super
of
Saiyan
the cheap
3.
shot at the end of the fight.
Oh, cheap shot,
it brings
yeah.
him down to an 8.
Hey, he
gets
won.
an overall score of 8.25 for his win against Goku. His next opponent is Majin Buu, who we established before is a 10.5. And I mean, Vegeta did as well as he possibly could. He gave a good account of himself, but he just couldn't handle the power difference. It was straight up.
It was that
impossible for him to
regeneration,
win. For
man.
performance, I'm giving him a 4, bringing him to an
It was that
average of
regeneration.
7.25, and with the loss, it's gonna bring him down to an overall score of 4.86 for the fight against Fat Buu. Next opponent is Kid Buu, who was a score of 11, and same thing here as the Fat Buu matchup. He did as well as he could, and he showed his toughness, lasting a whole minute getting cooked by Buu. Goku didn't think he could do it. He had less to offer here, though, than he
I
did
ain't gonna
against
lie.
Fat Buu, so I'm gonna give him a 3. Let's get an average out to
Nah,
7.
I'll give
and
it-
with the loss, it brings him
Now,
down
you
to a
you got
4.
Vegeta score just for lasting that long. He gave Goku the time he needed. Until Hercule showed up.
6-9 for the score. And the final fight is again against Kid Buu, who's an 11. Again, it's Vegeta with the help of Goku and everybody. Now that I think about it, he played the role here that Goku played in a lot of the group fights. This time he was the coach, the hype man, the idea guy. He did fight, he was stalling Buu, but he was getting fried. Overall, though, he was definitely clutch in this gauntlet match. So I'm going to give him a 4.5 for performance, even though he didn't physically do much. We're dropping this performance score down by 3 points, just like we did with
Ooh.
Goku. So bringing his performance down to a 1.5. The overall score for this win being 6.25. Vegeta had the same record as Goku actually in this saga, 3 wins and 2 losses. Alright guys, we're done. So let's take a look at some of these stats.
Let's
Just
go.
yap a little bit. Like I haven't been yapping for I don't even know how long at this point. So I got Goku's record as 10 wins, 9 losses, and 1 draw. His overall point value, the sum is 125.14, with his average point value per fight being 6.26. And for Vegeta, his overall record is 12 wins and 11 losses. The sum of his points is
Fair.
138.33, so higher than Goku's, but he had a couple more fights. When you look at his average point value per fight, it's a little bit lower than Goku's at 6.01.
So you can look at this one two ways. One Messi, one Ronaldo. One has more goals, but one average better. You can't look at it like
Goku's
that.
average opponent level is 8.63, and his opponent's average adjusted point level is 9.03. Vegeta's opponents are on average a little bit weaker. 8.26 average level,
Just a
8.52
little-
average adjusted level.
Just a
But yeah,
little bit.
dude, so you see, like, the thing is, these guys have a high average level opponent, and that's why they're racking up a lot of losses. For Goku, I'm going to put his top 5 wins in the screen here. So I got Frieza, then Nappa, and then Burter and Jace, Majin Buu, and Kid Buu. Those were the top wins that earned him the most points. And for Vegeta, it was Semi-Perfect Cell, and then Goku in the Saiyan Saga, Goku in the Buu Saga again, so he's 2-0 against Goku, we all know this. Android 19, and Super Perfect Cell, during the Gauntlet match. In the end, who had the best resume? It was Goku, man. Goku had the best resume.
I mean, he's the main character, though.
He fought, on average, the better opponent.
But their stats weren't that far off. And Vegeta did have, some of his opponents, Q, was easier. Pew pew.
Opponents, and he scored, on average, more points. Both times that Goku fought Vegeta in Z, Vegeta won. But Goku had the better career. But I bet some of you are surprised to see that it's not by that much, though. They both have one more win than they do losses, and they both have almost the same amount of fights. I mean, come on. Do you see now why I respect both of these guys' body of work so much? Like, I'm not some fence sitter. It is what it is. Vegeta had a fire record. The only thing is, though, you know what really separated Vegeta and Goku's record?
Both of them are barely over 50%.
That one big win against Frieza put that stamp on Goku's career. You know what I mean? To say, boom, case closed.
And that is one of the most iconic fights in DBZ. I mean, that was fair. That was fair. Vegeta, it was a close fight. I hate seeing Vegeta slander, but they weren't really Vegeta slander though. But I'm always on Vegeta's side. He's not my favorite character, but I respect him. I respect Vegeta. I respect him as a parent, as a fighter. I just respect him. He changed his ways. He done so much for the anime community. I'm gonna give him a press conference, but overall Goku was the better fighter. He did defeat more main villains though, but Goku, he stays the reigning champ. So I wonder, what was I about to say? Nah, scratch it. But Goku was a better fighter. Vegeta, you ain't that far behind. You was right there. Now, I wonder when we come to a part 2 in the video and go towards Super. But Super ain't over yet though. The manga's still going. But that would be interesting to do a part 2, but with Super. That'd be how Goku probably still pull up on that, pull big head on that, cause the hit fight, Goku performed way better than Vegeta. Jiren, Goku beat Jiren. So that would not do justice for Vegeta. I'm trying to think who. I mean, no. Maybe the Bears might be close, cause when it wouldn't be close. Because Vegeta was doing a little bit something for a little bit, but I think Super would be worse for Vegeta. Honestly, now I think about it. I'm trying to think about all the fights. That's what I'm trying to think. Who all he fought in Tournament of Power? Both of them fight would probably be from the Tournament of Power though. Tournament of Power and the other tournament. I mean, both of them probably gonna lose point heavy on Black because they was getting their butt whooped. The few was the monster. But they had to come back like a few times for Black though. Anyway, I done enough yapping. Tell me, who's your favorite Dragon Ball Z character? Mine is Gohan. So let me know who your favorite Dragon Ball Z character. And y'all gonna like, what the fuck? But my second favorite character is Yamcha, then Tien. Gohan, Yamcha, Tien, those are my 3 favorite characters. Because I really do like Yamcha from OG Dragon Ball. And I'm sticking with Yamcha. I'm sticking with him. But let me know who your favorite characters are. And I'll see you on the next video. Kai Blazing out.